what
really
about the
think
kids?
Of the kids? Well, think of something better than that.
Yeah. But he said, think of the kids, right? Okay, think of your kids. What about the kids who still don't have a home to go to following the bushfires of 2019-20 and the Lismore floods of last year? Where do they fit into all this, think of your kids?
Well, think of the kids for housing affordability. Paraday hasn't released enough land. There's a land shortage in Western Sydney. This region where I live, Alan, has always been the traditional place where young people can get a foot in the door of the housing market, then trade up. They can't even get the foot in the door now. Not enough land released. $100,000 added to the construction costs of a new home in Sydney through all the green environmental requirements, BASICs, biodiversity requirements, habitat studies. $100,000 in green rubbish, putting housing ownership out of the reach of this generation. On top of that, stamp duty, $50,000 up front. In Sydney, the choice of avoiding it should be available to all home buyers, no matter their background. So, these are very important policies to get housing affordability moving instead of the Paraday policy, which has destroyed the great Australian dream.
So when he says, think of your kids, okay, that's fine. That's why you and I are arguing all the time. It's because I'm thinking of the kids that I just don't want this outfit continuing on the road that they've taken. Are these the same kids who were locked out of school with draconian responses by a coalition government to coronavirus, denied their education? I mean, are these the same kids, Mark, who had to endure the emotional and psychological trauma of seeing their parents, whose businesses went under, and who couldn't go to work and weren't allowed to go to work, and indeed there were guns in the street making sure they didn't move out of their home? The damage done to these kids, are they the kids we're talking about when we say think of your kids?
Yeah, they're the same kids, all of them locked in their bedrooms for 3 months on end, denied access to their friends, the normal social contact, the wellness of being at school, learning, the fraternity of being with your mates, all denied that unnecessarily. No school should ever have been shut down. And for the kids that didn't have information technology in the home, basically denied any form of learning. So no social contact, lots of physical and mental problems that came out of that. And for some of them, no learning programs at all.
And then, of course, you mentioned debt, but we just should repeat the figures. Last year's budget, a $27 billion spending spree. And on my last count, in this election, over $33 billion of promises during the campaign. Mark, how do you stop this madness? You're talking to the voters now. How do you stop it?
Well, we've got to balance the budget and start paying down debt. Every single dollar of promises by Menz and Paraday in this campaign is a borrowed dollar. And it's those kids who sat on the stage, their generation will have to pay it back, and their children as well. So we can't go on like this when the next virus comes or a financial meltdown. How do you fund the next stimulus package? Well, you basically can't, because these budgets are so heavily in debt and deficit. Paraday and Menz and Keane have only got one policy, that's spend, and spend some more. And we've got to start ending the duplication, Alan. I mean, the biggest budget saving in New South Wales is to end the duplication, whereby the New South Wales government, and Matt Keane in particular, thinks they can save the planet with green energy programs. If we halt the transition to a so-called green energy economy, we abolish all the green energy programs, you save $20 billion on the New South Wales budget, a massive saving. You can clear the deficit and start paying down debt. So we're not going to save the planet in New South Wales, but we can save the budget, we can save the electricity grid, we can save the education system if you vote the right way on the 25th of March.